The Battle of Frontiers. In the Battle of Frontiers, the German advance was delayed by the movement of French Fifth Army towards the northwest to intercept them, and the presence of the British Expeditionary Force on the left flank of the French. The Franco-British troops were driven back by the Germans, who were able to invade the northern France. French and British regards actions delayed the German advance, allowing the French time to transfer forces on the eastern frontier to the west to defend Paris, resulting in the First Battle of Marne. The Battle of Frontiers started on August 4th until September 6th of 1914 in the eastern frontier of France and in the southern of Belgium. The countries that were involved in this battle were France, Belgium, Great Britain, and German Empire. The equipment that was used were infantry, artillery, and machine guns. Strategies. The German strategy in 1914 dictated that its forces must be inflicted in a swift knockout blow against France before turning east to take on Russia. 7 German armies were deployed, and according to the Switzerland plan, the 3 largest armies will conduct a sweeping maneuver through Belgium and northern France to trap and then attack the French in rear. The French strategy consists in a direct advance into German-held Lorraine with a subsidiary attack in Alsace. The offensive. The French offensive in Lorraine and Alsace swiftly turned into disaster after the attack was repulsed with terrible casualties. The German offensive attack on the northern flank was to circle around the Belgium and surround the French. During this battle, we have more than 200,000 casualties of 1,500,000, and in the German side, we have more than 1,400,000 casualties. The military leaders during this battle were, for France, Belgium, and Great Britain, Joseph Joffre, King Albert I, and John French. And in the German side, we have Helmut von Moltke. The Battle of Frontiers ended on September the 6th with a victory of the German Empire. Inside the Battle of Frontiers, we have 5 battles that marked during this period. The first battle was the Battle of Mulhouse. The first French attack of the World War I was marched on the city of Mulhouse, in a region near to the Swiss border that had been lost by the French during the Franco-Prussian War of 1871. It was seen as both symbolic and tactical target, allowing the French troops to be well positioned for further combats to the north. Under the command of General Bonneau and following the plan of the Commander-in-Chief Joseph Joffre, the French troops charged over the Vosges mountains. The next battle was the Battle of Lorraine. Despite the loss of Mulhouse, the French continued to their plan back to take the Alsace and Lorraine regions, and the armies marched on the cities of Salzburg and Montmartre on August 14. At the first, the German army appeared retreat only to the combat harder, pushing their enemies back into France. 8 days after the attack had begun, the French armies were back to their fortress zone, for where they had started. The third battle was the Battle of Ardennes. To prevent a further advance of the Germans' right flank, and expecting numbers to be low in the fortress of Ardennes, the French 3rd and 4th Army were sent to the attack. As they were pushed to the front, the two sides literally stumbled into each other, and the French offensive style was not matched for the German superior artillery, which took them down into higher numbers, killing an estimate of 20,000 men. The last two battles were the Battle of Charleroi and Mons. While the Battle of Ardennes was being fought, the French Fifth Army was facing clashes with the French Northern at Charleroi. The French were supposed to receive support by 100,000 soldiers from the British Sectional Force, a small group but professionally trained. But the British were delayed and ended fighting different battle at Mons, the first battle of the war. The French troops were outnumbered by the 2nd and 3rd German armies and suffered heavy losses after a couple of days of fighting. Over the course of a single day on August 22, some 20,000 French soldiers died at Ardennes and Charleroi. Thank you for your attention.